we've alleged in 2 federal lawsuits, one in Illinois, one in Mississippi, that counting ballots that arrive after Election Day is unlawful. I was just noting the other day, or earlier today, that, Walz, the governor from Minnesota, he was caught, and it's interesting, it's just basic questioning by even the friendly media, basically opposing the foundations of our federal constitutional republic by trying to destroy the Electoral College. And he couldn't even answer a straightforward question on it. Let's go to that tape.
I want to go back to something you said on Tuesday. You said, I think all of us know the Electoral College needs to go. But the campaign came out later that night, and they said that's not their stance.
Yeah. Well, it's not the campaign's position. And the point I'm trying to make is that there's folks that feel every vote must count in every state. Mm-hmm. And I think some of folks feel that's not the case. Our campaign does that. And the point I'm saying is, I'm in 5 states in 2 days. We're out there making the case that the campaign's position is clear, that that's not their position. Their position and my position is to make sure that everybody understands their vote, no matter what state they're in, matters.
So that's something that you and Vice President Harris disagree on?
I have spoken about it in the past, that she's been very clear on this, and the campaign, and my position is the campaign's position.
Do you understand what his position is? I don't. So it sounds to me like he wants to destroy the Electoral College. And it's a core fight for the left. Just because they're not campaigning, the Kamala Harris campaign, I don't know what their positions are or anything, especially since their positions changed, and her position has changed so dramatically in the past. Do you think the Electoral College should be thrown out? The fundamental basis, one of the fundamental bases of our Constitution. Remember, there was compromises that resulted in the creation of our nation and the U.S. Constitution. One of those compromises was the Electoral College. It's like a Jenga pile. You take that brick out, the rest of the system is damaged and collapses. So this is a revolutionary issue when it comes to elections. And, and the battles continue in terms of election integrity. We have this great book, right? The reason we have this great book is because there's a lot of heavy lifting behind it in the federal courts. We have 2 cases now in Illinois and California to clean up the rolls, and we've cleaned up the voter rolls all across the land, and I talked about it in a quick video from the other day, or a few weeks ago.
Hey everyone, you may not know this, but Judicial Watch, over the last year or 2, our litigation has cleaned up 4 million dirty names from the voter rolls. More lawsuits ongoing to clean up potentially millions more in Illinois, California. Another lawsuit in the offing for Oregon. Dirty voting rolls can mean dirty elections, and Judicial Watch is doing the heavy lifting to clean them up.
Yeah, if we're going to be mailing people ballots, don't we want to be sure they're there and are eligible to vote? As I note, we're about to sue in Oregon. I'm not sure when exactly we'll file the suit. I'm always a little hesitant because, lawsuits, just because we're planning to file a lawsuit, you never know what's going to happen until it's filed, right? So the current plan is to file a lawsuit, and the numbers in Oregon are terrible in terms of their dirty voting rolls. Illinois, they've got a bunch of dead people on the rolls. California, they seem to essentially stop cleaning up the rolls for years there, even though we previously had forced LA County to remove 1.2 million names, or they were removed as a result of a settlement. So California would say it was a settlement, not we weren't forced. But the fact is the lawsuit led to that settlement, which led to 1.2 million names being removed.
Federal law requires an election day, not an election week, not an election month.
That's how elections can be, in my view, stolen. Through the illicit counting of ballots that they're not supposed to be counting, including ballots that arrive after Election Day. And we've alleged in 2 federal lawsuits, one in Illinois, one in Mississippi, that counting ballots that arrive after Election Day is unlawful. And not only that, I don't need to tell you why counting ballots after Election Day, or at least I hope I don't, why that invites voter fraud, undermines voter confidence. So the lawsuit in Mississippi just was heard by the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. So we're expecting, as I noted in the tweet, a ruling on that any day. I think there are 18 or 19 states. Fifth Circuit ruling any day now. It wouldn't surprise me if it, I don't know, maybe it's too late in the day now. It may come out next week if it doesn't come out by the close of business today. But 18 or 19 states count ballots that arrive after Election Day. And I'm suspicious of counting of, by the way, this isn't in our lawsuits, but I think there's a legal issue here, counting ballots after Election Day, even if they got there on time. Because remember, in 2020, President Trump, on election night, he had the votes to win the election. But those results were changed as a result of unprecedented counting in the swing states that never taken place before, counting that went past Election Day. And we're supposed to pick the electors on Election Day. How does picking the electors on Election Day comport with counting ballots for days and weeks afterwards? And in the case of places like Illinois, counting ballots that arrive 2 weeks afterwards. It's one thing to dispute counting ballots you're already in, you got already in a box. But these are ballots that are still coming in. I think California, at 7 days, they count ballots. They let ballots come in for 7 days after an election. Nevada, they allow ballots to come in after the election, they get counted. Now, Pennsylvania, you're supposed to get your ballots in by Election Day in order for them to be counted. But there have been a series of stories telling us, oh, we won't know who won in Pennsylvania until days after the election. Well, that ain't right. And I would argue it's not legal. We've got this insanity going on in this country where we're told right is wrong and wrong is right. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like our video down below.